In the wild heart of North America, grizzly bears stand as more than mere survivors. They are living testaments to patience and purpose. Their power is never wasted on impulse. Each attack is measured, each movement deliberate, shaped by experience rather than haste. In every encounter, nature reveals its quiet law. Instinct has limits, and survival belongs to those who understand when to wait, when to act, and when to endure. In the Arctic, where resources are scarce and the line between survival is ever thin, not all dangers come from the outside. As the ice melts rapidly and food sources dwindle, internal conflicts begin to arise among bears. These conflicts don't erupt immediately. Bears often stand up, spread their front legs, and growl softly as a warning and a show of force, not to fight. Because here, even a small wound can be fatal in the biting cold. However, when hunger strikes, the boundaries are broken. Adult male bears can become a threat to their own kind, even their cubs. In such situations, a mother bear, even weighing only half the weight of her male, will not back down. The cubs, weighing less than 30 pounds, are completely dependent on their mother. Every step the mother bear takes is a calculated move, each decision a clear risk. The pressure to protect her cubs is not just an immediate battle, but also affects her reproductive capacity and the survival rate of future generations. Salmon, especially those native to Alaska, typically only measure 24 to 30 inches in length and weigh an average of 8 to 15 pounds. Each year, at the end of summer, they migrate upstream to spawn, creating a vibrant, reddish stream of water, a rare opportunity during a time of scarcity. Polar bears don't miss this opportunity. They approach shallow waters where salmon are trapped in small pools. Not as agile as brown bears, but if lucky, a single successful catch might provide a meal. However, the prey is usually small, not enough to replace a seal or beluga. The bear must expend energy on each missed catch. If too much energy is expended, it is forced to stop. This isn't a large hunt, but enough to sustain survival. Because sometimes, survival is just enough for one more day. Beluga whales average 13 to 20 feet in length and weigh around 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. Their white skin and agile bodies help them adapt to cold waters. Belugas live in pods and often move with the currents, especially at high tide, when narrow channels near the shore become. Beluga whales average 13 to 20 feet in length and weigh around 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. Their white skin and agile bodies help them adapt to cold waters. Belugas live in pods and often move with the currents, especially at high tide, when narrow channels near the shore become passageways. But it is at these times that polar bears lie in wait. They memorize the tidal cycle, hiding at the edge. Ice. When the beluga pod swims close to the shallow water, speed is no longer an advantage. The bear plunges down, pouring its entire body weight into the strike. If it hits, the beluga is unlikely to escape, but a miss of just a few inches will send the prey into deeper water. Polar dogs, weighing an average of 60 to 90 pounds, are hardy working dogs used by humans to pull sleds and guard camps. Despite being domesticated, they retain their wild instincts, with excellent cold tolerance thanks to their thick double coat. They are pack dogs, sensitive to smells, and often bark loudly to warn from a distance. When bears appear, they move constantly to harass and maintain distance. Polar bears are not easily intimidated. When hungry, they approach the camp silently, targeting food sources. The dogs organize their defenses, but a single claw from a bear is enough to bring down an adult. In one-on-one confrontations, bears always have the absolute advantage. If the dog pack is not large enough, or there is no human intervention, the outcome usually favors the bear. The scene was not just an attack, but a chilling reminder of the harshness of the Arctic environment. Here, every mistake, even by a domestic dog, costs a life. Walruses are an almost invincible opponent. An adult can weigh up to 3,000 pounds, with thick skin, thick layers of fat, and tusks about 3 feet long. These tusks are not only for defense, but also tools for climbing ice, digging snow, and protecting territory. When threatened, walruses don't flee, but gather into a living defensive mass, making even polar bears wary. Polar bears understand this. A slip, a scratch, could cost them an entire hunting season. Therefore, they don't take risks. Instead of approaching directly, they stand on the edge of the walrus herd, silently observing. They wait until the herd begins to move chaotically and agitatedly. That's the most vulnerable moment. Young calves can be separated from the herd, and weaker individuals can easily get lost. But even then, the bear still has to choose carefully. A jab from its sharp tusks can inflict serious injury. The bear targeted a smaller individual, but was immediately counterattacked by a mature walrus. Their heavy bodies slid into the water, forming an impenetrable wall. The attack failed in seconds. The bear lost precious energy in the freezing cold, but there was no way to replenish it. Yet it didn't give up. Because if successful, a walrus could provide up to 150,000 calories, enough to sustain it for days. In this harsh world, it's not the strong who survive, but those who know when to wait and when to retreat. Polar wolves are symbols of resilience and organization. An adult is 3 to 5 feet long and weighs approximately 70 to 110 pounds. They live in packs, have a clear social hierarchy, and coordinate hunting. But success is not high. They survive more on persistence than sheer strength. Polar bears, twice as heavy and with a sense of smell many times more sensitive, often come to steal the prey. As the ice melts and bears come ashore more frequently, clashes occur often. At a carcass, the wolf pack surrounds, howling, but a cold gaze and a single swipe of the bear's claw are enough to make them retreat. There is no actual confrontation, but the advantage is too clear, and the wolves understand that. The confrontation ended in silence, but left a powerful reminder. The environment changes, and all existing order of survival can be overturned. Rapid ice melts the Arctic sea surface, making it inaccessible to polar bears of the breathing holes where seals regularly surface. With their familiar energy source gone, polar bears are forced to adapt to survive. In some coastal areas or rocky islands, bears turn to searching for seabird eggs. Nests perched precariously on cliffs become their new target. Bears climb the slopes, using their noses and claws to reach each nest. The low-calorie but easily obtainable eggs become a temporary food source to sustain them. While the nutritional value of seabird eggs cannot compare to seal meat, in a time of scarcity, each egg is a measure of survival. There is no perfect solution, only the most viable one. This is not a long-term replacement, but a testament to incredible survival instincts. Instead of giving up, the bear accepted a change in strategy, altering its hunting habits that had existed for thousands of years, just to survive one more day in the melting ice. Polar bears, the largest land predators, can weigh up to 1,500 pounds. Their thick white fur helps them blend into the snow, while a thick layer of fat under their skin keeps their body temperature stable in the freezing cold of -40 degrees Fahrenheit. But despite being an icon of the icy regions, life for polar bears is not easy, especially as food becomes increasingly scarce. On the ice surface of the Beaufort Sea, an adult male polar bear tracks the scent of a seal through its breathing passages, the fragile thread connecting the seal's life to the air. The polar bear is in no hurry. It memorizes the location, chooses its ambush point, and lies motionless like the ice surrounding it. Sometimes this patience lasts for hours. When the ice surface trembles slightly, it's a sign the seal is approaching. The bear springs up quickly and decisively, shifting its entire body weight onto its target. But the slippery ice caused the slip to miss. The seal vanished into the water in an instant. A silent, unrestrained, but clearly failed hunt. The success rate of such ambushes is only about 10 to 20%. But just one successful attempt is enough to provide the bear with energy for 10 days. Therefore, Each charge is a gamble on energy. For polar bears, memory, patience, and timing are more important than the number of attacks. The Arctic does not reward raw strength. It preserves those who learn its laws. Polar bears do not battle for dominance, but for the simple right to stay alive. In this frozen world, there are no permanent rivals, only the cold, the emptiness of hunger, the ache of thirst, and the fragile boundary separating survival from extinction. Every moment endured is a reminder that nature shows no mercy to any creature. In the frigid Arctic, the silence hides ambushes and dangerous attacks from nature. From surprise attacks under the ice to relentless chases across the snow, every moment is life or death. This is where instinct and endurance shape the relentless confrontations between masters of Arctic ambush. When a polar bear approaches a pod of belugas near the edge of the ice, the situation becomes fraught with danger. One slip or one wrong step could send it into deep water, where belugas swim fast and are difficult to reach. The bear stands still, watching every gap in the ice, waiting for the moment when the pod gets too close. In this scene, nature shows its harshness. A perfect strategy can bring a crucial meal, while a small mistake can cost lives. In the cold ocean, orca are not just strong because of their size. They are strong because of their coordination. Every hunt begins with clear calculations and discipline from the whole group. When hunting dolphins, which swim fast and change direction constantly, orca immediately divide into groups. One group applies pressure from behind. Another group blocks the sides, narrowing the escape route little by little. The dolphins are led into a circle where space gradually disappears. The precision of each turn shows the skill honed over generations. When facing seals on the ice, the strategy is completely different. Orca do not charge. They swim in sync, keeping a horizontal line, and simultaneously create a large wave. The wave crashes into the ice, tilting or cracking it. The seal loses its balance and falls into the water where the orca takes control. In both the deep sea and the ice, orcas know how to use their environment. They understand the force of the water, the direction of the wind, the thickness of the ice, and the movement of their prey. That coordination is true power, a shared knowledge passed down through generations. Arctic wolves live in packs of 5 to 10 individuals, moving constantly through harsh, icy regions. A subspecies of the gray wolf, they have developed thick white fur that keeps them warm and camouflages them perfectly against the snow. This species is known for its endurance. They can track prey for miles on the ice, relying on the strength of their collective strength to corner and tire their opponents. Order within the pack is maintained by signals and experience, creating a rhythmic coordination. Amidst the relentless cold and the endless darkness, the Arctic wolf has become a symbol of perseverance and cunning, surviving thanks to the adaptability and solidarity of the pack. In the Arctic ice, polar bears are known as the world's largest bears, with some weighing more than 1,320 pounds. Their thick white fur and insulating fat help them withstand the long cold and constant gale force winds. Strong forelimbs and broad paws help them balance on thin ice and swim dozens of miles in cold water. Seals are an important source of energy, rich in fat, and the main food source that sustains them. A highly sensitive sense of smell allows bears to detect prey from great distances. Their sharp ears help them listen for small movements under the ice. Bears can stand still for hours at breathing holes, waiting for the right moment. When the opportunity arises, they strike quickly, precisely, and never miss the decisive moment. In the cold waters of the North Pacific, killer whales move with a calm, commanding presence. An adult can be 26 to 30 feet long and weigh over 11,000 pounds, yet their movements are fluid and precise. Despite their massive size, they are the largest members of the dolphin family. What sets them apart is not just their strength, but their intelligence. The orca's brain is large and complex, allowing for sophisticated communication and advanced social behavior. In a pod, sometimes numbering up to a dozen individuals, each animal understands its role. Their sounds resonate in the water, allowing the group to coordinate with incredible precision. Each hunt is based on discipline and calculation, not speed. The pod stays in a steady formation, guiding its prey in a predetermined direction. Generation after generation, that coordination becomes the precise instinct that helps orca master the cold northern seas. During mating season, male bears clash for territory, food, and access to females. Each cause is important enough to spark conflict between the 1,320-pound plus individuals. As the two males approach, they assume a wary stance, their deep growls echoing softly across the ice. The confrontation begins with powerful swings of their forelimbs, each testing the other's endurance. The fights can be long, their white fur tangled and leaving deep scars from years of competition. In this harsh land, strength lies not just in muscle, but in the will and endurance of each individual. As the wolves approach a group of musk oxen, the ice becomes a place where two opposing survival strategies are exposed. The wolves are agile, coordinated, and persistent, gradually closing in on their prey. They apply constant pressure, looking for gaps in the dense formation ahead. The musk oxen respond with strong protective instincts. They immediately form a defensive circle. The cubs are kept safe in the center. The adults stand on the outside, their horns facing outward like a solid wall. This confrontation is more than just a hunt. It is a clash between the spirit of tenacious solidarity and the instinct of desperate protection, where every step brings danger and the tension of the Arctic nature. The snowy owl has thick white feathers that keep it warm and blend in with the snow, giving it an advantage when hunting. Its sharp yellow eyes can clearly observe movement even in the dark, and its sensitive ears allow it to hear faint sounds under the ice. Its main food consists of lemmings, Arctic hares, and small birds. The snowy owl often waits for a long time, standing still in the cold wind. When the right moment comes, it swoops down like a streak of light. In many snowy areas, the snowy owl is described as the silent shadow of death, a predator that rarely shows itself, but is always accurate in the decisive moment. When chasing a reindeer on the vast ice, the pack of wolves not only runs, but also reads every movement of the prey. They persistently keep a safe distance, observing the breathing, running posture, and even the moments when the reindeer begins to tire. The chase becomes a harsh test of speed, endurance, and coordination. The reindeer can break away strongly, but if they slow down just a step, the battle immediately tilts in the wolves' favor. The whole pack keeps a steady rhythm, taking turns to close in, gradually narrowing the escape space. On the endless, snowy ground, the outcome belongs to the species that can keep its breath steady and catch the fragile moment when the prey is exposed. In the vast, frozen area, the mother bear is the only fortress protecting her cubs. The cubs are still weak, completely dependent on the mother's vigilance and strength. The mother bear is always ready to face all dangers, from wandering male bears to other predators. The mother bear's instinct to protect them does not back down. As soon as she sees a sign of threat, she immediately stands in front of her cubs, maintaining a firm position on the ice. That determination, alertness, and perseverance help the cubs overcome the first dangerous months of their lives. Beneath the cold, still waters of the ocean, orcas move like an organized shadow. The recorded confrontations are not frightening because of the chaos, but because of the predator's control of space and time. There, the terror doesn't come from violence, but from a cold, calculating mind, always one step ahead of its opponent. Big dolphins are renowned for their speed and agility. Their compact bodies allow them to change direction quickly in the water. Their excellent communication skills enable the entire pod to react almost simultaneously. In brief moments, dolphins can swim nearly 25 miles per hour. Speed is the dolphin's primary advantage. But against orcas, the confrontation isn't about who's faster. It's decided by how space is controlled. Orcas approach silently. They form a wide encirclement formation. One group blocks the front, forcing the pod to swim away. Others close in from the sides. Above the water's surface, an orca leaps high, observing the entire pod from an aerial perspective. From there, escape routes are clearly narrowed. The pressure increases with each passing second. The dolphin pod begins to lose its synchronicity. Just one individual's slowness immediately breaks the balance. In that moment, the attack was swift and precise. It didn't drag on. There was no chaos. The hunt was tightly coordinated. The alpha female orca took command. Once the target was achieved, the entire orca pack retreated. The outcome was clear. This confrontation demonstrated that, in the ocean, intelligence, organization, and tactics can outweigh individual speed and agility. Stingrays typically live near the shallow seabed. Their bodies are flattened with wingspans ranging from 6 to 10 feet, weighing around 200 to 300 pounds, and they move with soft, rhythmic flapping of their wings. Most of the time, stingrays are hidden beneath the sand. Their venomous, spine-like tail is their last line of defense against predators. The orca approaches from behind. Its movements are smooth and almost silent. When it gets close enough, a powerful tail flick creates a large splash of water, momentarily stunning the stingray. There is no killing blow. Orcas neither kill nor eat. They circle, observing the prey's reaction. This is likely a training exercise in hunting skills, a way to control prey without killing it. This encounter clearly demonstrates this. The true strength of the orca lies in its ability to control its instincts, not in its ferocity. Large seals often take refuge on ice floes. An adult can weigh around 600 pounds, with a thick layer of blubber to help retain heat in the cold water. On the ice, seals trust the stability of the ice surface and a safe distance. But ice isn't always an absolute refuge. As the water expands around the ice floe, the safe boundary begins to falter. Orcas appear from afar, swimming parallel to each other. They maintain a steady distance, accelerating synchronously without making much noise. Every movement is precisely timed. Suddenly, powerful tail flaps resound. Waves about 5 feet high crash onto the ice floe. The ice surface shakes. The seals lose their balance for a brief moment. Not always successful. Many seals manage to regain their position. But if even one individual slips off the ice, the outcome is decided very quickly. This skill isn't accidental. It's a tactic passed down from generation to generation. Baby orcas learn to coordinate with their mothers during their first 3 to 5 years of life. This hunt isn't about brute strength. It's a combination of experience, coordination, and patience. In the ocean, inherited knowledge is just as valuable as any physical strength. The great white shark has long been considered a symbol of solitary power in the ocean. A mature individual can be over 18 feet long, weigh over 4,000 pounds, and possess a bite force exceeding 4,000 pounds. It hunts alone, relying on burst speed and surprise attacks. For decades, the image of the great white shark has been associated with absolute power underwater. But with the arrival of orcas, that order changes. Killer whales don't charge head-on. They approach from hidden angles, beyond the shark's natural line of sight. A precise collision is delivered. The shark's body flips over in an instant. Its nervous system goes into a state of temporary immobility. The goal isn't to finish it off immediately. Orcas focus on the shark's liver, a massive source of energy within the prey's body. Once the target is achieved, the approach ends. The outcome is decided very quickly. The great white shark loses its advantage. The orca retreats once it has control of the situation. This confrontation isn't about ferocity. It reflects a familiar law of nature. In the ocean, intelligence and strategy can overcome sheer brute force. Sea lions are familiar inhabitants of rocky shores and small islands. An adult can weigh from 600 to over 800 pounds and measure about 7 to 8 feet in length at full size. Their compact bodies and strong front fins allow them to climb ashore quickly and maneuver nimbly in shallow water. In groups, they rely on the coastal terrain to maintain a safe distance. For most of the time, this advantage is enough to protect them. The steep rocky shore and narrow passage create a sense of stability. But the sea is not still. When the tide changes, the safe zone begins to shift. Orcas patiently wait for that change. They don't approach immediately. All eyes are on the water level and the rhythm of the waves. When the water level rises sufficiently, an orca darts quickly into the shallow water. The approach was brief, enough to create confusion and disorientation. But this action always carried risks. A single misstep could cause the orca to run aground and be forced to abandon the opportunity. Therefore, not every approach was pursued to the end. This short hunt demonstrates that, in coastal areas, success doesn't come from sheer strength, but from the ability to read the timing and accept the necessary risks. Antarctica is a frozen land where temperatures frequently drop below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. In this harsh environment, penguins survive thanks to their exceptional adaptability. An adult is about 3 feet tall and weighs nearly 80 pounds. They cannot fly, but can swim at speeds of nearly 20 miles per hour. While resting on the ice, an orca appeared and swam in circles, creating large waves. The ice surface shook, and a frightened individual jumped into the water and dove through a narrow gap. After several escapes, the penguin swam close to a cruise ship and jumped onto the deck for shelter. The orca circled briefly, but did not attack again. This encounter had no clear loser. The orca demonstrated control and patience. The penguin survived thanks to its momentary reflexes. In the midst of a frozen sea, just one timely decision can change destiny. Humpback whales are giant creatures of the ocean. An adult can be 40 to 52 feet long, weigh nearly 88,000 pounds, and move slowly across vast ocean lanes. At that size, they weigh 5 to 6 times as much as an orca. In their adult state, humpback whales are rarely threatened. That stability changes when a calf is present. The instinct to protect their offspring causes the adults to form a defensive circle, keeping the calf safe in the center. Orcas don't confront directly. They divide the pod into smaller groups, taking turns applying sustained pressure. Their sole target is the mother and calf. Orcas wait for the moment the mother whale surfaces to breathe. In that brief instant, the protective circle begins to loosen. When the calf is exhausted, the defensive formation collapses. The orca quickly gained control of the situation. The outcome was clear. The killer whale prevailed and won. This confrontation demonstrates that, in the ocean, intelligence, patience, and group discipline are more important than sheer strength. The north wind blew hard. The ice cracked under its claws, and the hunter's breath mingled with the cold mist. The polar bear charged, chasing its prey as it slid across the ice. Each pounce was as heavy as a hammer hitting the snow. There was no room for error, only instinct and speed. In this frozen world, survival began with a relentless chase. Amid the icy waters of the Arctic, walruses rest on the edge of the sea. Their massive bodies are covered in thick hides and layers of fat to keep them warm. Their tusks, which can be more than 3 feet long, are both defensive and combat weapons. Adult walruses are extremely strong, capable of injuring even polar bears if attacked. As such, bears rarely choose them as prey unless they are young, old, or injured, especially during the ice melt season when hunting seals becomes difficult. A hungry bear was walking along the edge of the ice. In the distance, it spotted a huge herd of walruses. The herd immediately formed a circle, the adults on the outside, the calves in the middle of a thick, solid wall of meat. The bear circled, looking for an opening, but every opening was closed. It advanced, then stopped, its breath puffing in the cold air. The hunt was a failure. A few days later, 2 more bears appeared. This time, they were not alone, but together. They moved slowly, observing the resting walrus herd. A calves was separated from the protective circle. Immediately, a quick charge was launched. The chase lasted for more than 15 minutes, full of tension and patience. Finally, after a series of efforts, one bear won. In this frozen land, it is not strength, but strategy and perseverance that determines survival. Even as an apex predator, polar bears must learn to wait, to try and evolve with the times. In the vast white snow, a pack of gray wolves moved, their eyes shining in the cold sunset. Gray wolves are strategic predators, able to run continuously for more than 40 miles a day. A symbol of teamwork and discipline. Although they rarely encounter polar bears, when their territory is invaded, their protective instincts immediately rise. From afar, a giant polar bear approached, its breath thick with smoke in the cold air. The bear was twice as strong, but the wolf fought not with strength, but with strategy. They split up, one drawing attention, the other circling behind, emitting a threatening roar. Both closed in, ready to defend their territory. The bears stopped, facing each other in silence. The struggle was tense but bloodless, with only breath and snow falling. The moment showed the balance of power between the top predators. In the wild, strength is not just about size, but also about strategy, courage, and respect for each other's instincts. Amid the drifting ice sheets of the Arctic, pods of belugas move in small groups, their calls echoing in the cold water. Belugas have smooth white skin, agile bodies, and impressive swimming speeds of more than 10 miles per hour. For polar bears, they are elusive prey, agile and ever vigilant. 2 polar bears appeared, each choosing a different tactic. One waited quietly on the ice, patiently watching the beluga's every move. The other swam upstream, trying to approach from underwater. The belugas sensed danger and quickly dispersed. The hunt was tense but silent, with only their breathing and the slight movement of the water. The bear in the water quickly exhausted itself. The beluga's speed was too superior. Meanwhile, The bear on the ice waited patiently. When a beluga surfaced for air near the edge of the ice, it rushed out at the right moment. A clean pounce, and victory belonged to the more patient one. In this land of white ice, instinct is not only about strength, but also about waiting for the right moment. The story of the two bears is proof that, in the wild world, patience always prevails over haste. Among the nearly 300-meter-high vertical cliffs in the Arctic, thousands of guillemot birds nest in narrow crevices. They choose the high places to avoid predators, but sometimes nature still challenges that safety limit. A hungry polar bear comes. When the food source under the ice is depleted in late summer, it begins climbing along the vertical cliff. Each step is a gamble. With just one mistake, it could fall and die. But hunger is stronger than fear. The bear persistently clings to each rock ledge, approaches the bird nest, steals eggs and chicks. This dangerous journey shows the desperation and bravery of polar bears, ready to face danger to survive. In this cold world, the survival instinct leaves no room for hesitation. During the early spring months, from March to May, the Arctic ice becomes a battleground of dominance. Male bears begin mating season, and with it, fierce battles begin. The reasons can be simple: fighting for mates, territory, or sometimes just access to a rare food source. The two male bears approached each other, their bodies huge, their breaths billowing in the cold air. The younger one crouched low, ready to attack. The older one, scarred and covered in scars, stood firm on the ice, his eyes calm and experienced. Roars rang out, powerful blows causing the ice to crackle underfoot. After just a few fierce blows, the younger bear was at a disadvantage, forced to retreat, leaving bloody footprints on the ice. In this world, sometimes experience is more important than youth. For polar bears, each scar is a survival lesson, a witness to the journey to preserve life in the permafrost. In the frigid Arctic, caribou migrate hundreds of miles each year in search of new pastures. With their sturdy bodies and speeds that can reach 50 miles per hour, they are a symbol of wilderness endurance. But when swimming through icy water, that advantage disappears. And that's where the polar bear appears, silently watching from afar. The bear dove into the water, each powerful blow breaking the ice into small waves. The caribou struggled desperately, but the bear was faster, closing in a split second. It drowned its prey in the icy water, ending the brief chase. When the water calmed, the bear dragged the caribou's body to shore, its breath dissipating in the cold wind. The moment showed the incredible flexibility of the polar bear, ready to hunt any prey when hungry. In the harsh Arctic, survival always belongs to those who adapt and seize the opportunity. On the white ice, a female bear leads two cubs looking for shelter. From afar, a male bear appears, starting to approach. In the Arctic world, this is not a normal encounter. Male bears sometimes chase female mothers and cubs to kill their cubs, forcing the mother to mate again. a cold but instinctive survival behavior. The mother bear stands in front of her cubs, stomping her feet on the snow, sending a warning signal. A deep roar echoes in the wind. The male bear hesitates, then slowly walks away. But the ending is not always like that. Sometimes the mother bear is forced to run away to survive, only to lose her cub in the endless cold ice. In this harsh place, maternal instinct becomes the most sacred power. In a world where life is fragile every hour, maternal love is still the only fire that keeps the warmth and the cold of nature. On the flat ice, a seal rests after surfacing for air. With their slippery skin, plump bodies, and thick layers of high-energy blubber, seals are a major source of food for polar bears. The blubber, which can weigh up to 100 pounds, is a favorite target. In the spring, when the ice melts, they typically eat only the blubber and leave the rest to Arctic foxes or crows, maintaining the natural cycle of life here. Not far away, a polar bear was lying in ambush near the seal's breathing hole. Its sense of smell was extremely sensitive, able to detect the scent of prey from under the thick layer of ice and snow. It lay still, blending into the landscape, waiting for the right moment. When the seal surfaced, the bear rushed out in a split second, its attack quick and precise. The seal was caught, and the high-energy meal began, enough for the bear to survive for many more days in the harsh, cold ice. But luck was not always on the bear's side. On another occasion, with just a second of delay, the seal had already dived into the water and disappeared. The ice was quiet again, only footprints and breaths remaining, dissolving in the wind. In this place, even the most skilled hunter could still fail. In the world of ice and silence, victory comes not only from strength, but also from patience and precise timing. In the wild, few predators exert as much pressure as lions. Once they start chasing, even the fastest can struggle to keep a safe distance. Each chase is a combination of speed, patience, and precise timing. One wrong move can change the entire situation. These moments capture some of the most impressive lion approaches and attacks, where every move carries the weight of survival. This footage captures a pride of lions closing in on a herd of impalas. In a split second, one lion leaps and catches an impala mid-air. No easy feat against animals that can jump over 10 feet and sprint nearly 50 miles per hour. Lions rely on short bursts of speed and perfect timing to overcome such agile prey. Moments later, the pride closes in, turning precision and teamwork into a shared reward. Two male impalas lock horns during mating season, so focused on each other that the world around them disappears. These fights drain stamina and slow reaction time, exactly what predators look for. In a sudden burst, a lioness charges in. Lions can hit full speed in just a few strides. One impala is taken down in seconds. Moments later, the pride gathers to feed. In rutting season, losing awareness can be fatal. Herd of impala near a lake, waiting for one to make a mistake. Impalas rely on bursts of speed and sharp turns, but once separated from the herd, their chances dwindle rapidly. One impala tried to sprint past the herd, but the lions could reach speeds of 35 miles per hour and react in less than half a second. The slightest hesitation was all it took. The lion pounced on it instantly, and seconds later the pride was closing in to share the spoils. A lone lioness watches a herd of impalas, waiting for the right moment to act. When she moves, it's swift and precise, and she secures one with practiced skill. A nursing lioness needs over 11 pounds of food each day to stay healthy and produce milk, so every successful hunt is essential. This hard-won meal will replenish her strength and help her continue caring for her cubs in the wild. A lioness comes across two baby impalas hiding in the grass. One lamb kicks back, landing a few quick hits to her face. In their first days, impala fawns survive by staying hidden. They can't rely on speed yet. It's hard to watch the young get caught. But the lioness must eat too, especially if she has cubs waiting. She carries both lambs under a bush to feed in peace. In nature, every life sustains another. A pride of lions was walking along a road when a wildebeest suddenly charged straight at them. The lionesses reacted immediately, accelerating rapidly to intercept. Antelopes can reach speeds of nearly 60 kilometers per hour, but a sudden wrong turn could take away their advantage. The lions, obviously hungry, took the opportunity to grab a quick meal. In the wild, even a small mistake could mean the difference. While resting, two lionesses noticed a pair of unsuspecting blesbok crossing ahead. Instantly, they shifted into action. One blesbok leapt from a ridge, but a lioness met it mid-air with remarkable timing. Lions can reach bursts of nearly 50 miles per hour, allowing them to close distance in moments. Working together, the lionesses brought the prey back and secured a much-needed meal. This zebra became separated from its herd after migration, and being alone made it vulnerable. a lion suddenly rushed out of the tall grass and chased it into an ambush. Zebras rely on the herd's many eyes and ears to detect danger, but alone, they are easy targets for surprise attacks. The rest of the pride joined the pursuit, and the chase ended quickly. This footage from Serengeti National Park shows a lioness quietly following a herd of zebras. Suddenly, she charges, sending the herd into a fast stampede. She manages to catch one, but the situation shifts. Lions often target weaker animals, yet this zebra resisted with full strength. A single kick can injure a lion severely, and in the wild, one miscalculation can change the outcome. The cub was separated from the herd and quickly caught by a lioness. She held the cub's face, a way lions often use to subdue their prey. The struggle lasted for a while, but the lioness held on until the cub stopped struggling. It was hard to witness, but in nature, survival often comes with harsh and inevitable realities. The male lion noticed a weak buffalo calf that was unable to stand. He approached, but the mother reacted immediately and pushed him away, using her strength to protect her calf. Buffaloes are known for their strong family bonds and horns that can injure a predator with a single strike. However, the lion turned, grabbed the calf, and ran away before the pride could stop him. In the wild, even the most powerful actions do not always change the outcome. Two lions captured a buffalo calf, but stayed alert, knowing the herd could return at any moment. Soon, the adult buffaloes came back and charged straight toward them. One even lifted the calf during the rush, forcing the lions to retreat. The calf managed to get up and run back to the herd. In the wild, the protection of a group can make the difference between life and death. This lioness waits quietly as a herd of wildebeest rushes past. A young calf becomes separated and tries to run. When it loses balance, the lioness reacts instantly and captures it. During fast stampedes, predators often target animals that fall behind. This time, her patience provides the food she needs to stay strong. The male lion watches the stampeding herd of wildebeest, waiting for the right moment to strike. With precise timing, he finally catches one after a long chase.
We have the best view.
For him, it is an important meal. Male lions may not be as fast as lionesses, but their size and strength allow them to take down large prey in a single, well-controlled effort. This footage shows a lioness attempting to bring down a zebra, but this time the zebra fought with full effort. Even as the lioness held on, the zebra kicked, twisted, and pushed in every direction to break free. In situations like this, zebras use every bit of strength they have to survive. Against the odds, this zebra managed to escape, showing that in the wild, persistence can decide the outcome. This footage shows a lioness chasing a fast-moving herd of zebras. In the rush, she manages to secure a young foal. Driven by hunger, she finally has food to support her family. Lionesses are known for their intense concentration once they select a target. They stay locked on it and commit their full effort to the chase. This male lion spotted a lone zebra and moved into position for an ambush. He charged suddenly and brought it down within moments. A full-grown male lion can drag animals weighing more than 300 kilograms, using powerful shoulder and neck muscles. Even with the zebra's size, he managed to pull it to a safer spot. This ability shows the impressive physical strength that defines Africa's dominant predators. A male lion notices a young elephant walking alone near a waterhole and begins to follow it. On his second attempt, he jumps onto its back, and a lioness joins in to support him. Together, they manage to bring the young elephant under control. Shortly after, the rest of the pride gathers, turning a dangerous hunt into a shared meal. This footage shows a lioness, driven by the need to feed her cubs, attempting to bring down a young elephant on her own. It's a risky move, but hungry lionesses sometimes target young or isolated elephants when food is scarce. After a difficult struggle, the elephant manages to break free and reach safety. For the calf, it's a rare and fortunate escape. If you find these moments interesting, a like will help the video continue to spread. You can also subscribe to the channel to follow more wild journeys. Many exciting chases and encounters are still waiting in the next videos. Thank you for taking the time to follow the story today. See you again in the next part of this series.